Hello friends, and thank you so much for joining me, clicking on this video. Grab a water and a mat, and let's get ready to do some hip mobility. The first exercise is a cossack squat, but we're going to be adding an internal rotation to the lunging leg to open up the posterior hip, warming up and activating our glutes and our hip rotators. Simply take that lunging leg and drop it towards the middle of the mat. These unilateral patterns minimize imbalances. They improve our ability to complete routine tasks like standing, walking, running, but also improve our dynamic mobility and athleticism. We're going to be building strength in our legs, targeting the adductors, glutes, hamstrings, and quadriceps. Move at a pace and depth that is comfortable for you. You might have more hip mobility than me, you might have less. Just move at a pace that's best for you. Remember, this is your time and you're not supposed to look exactly like me. After 55 seconds of work, we will have 15 seconds to rest. You can pause the video if you need a little more rest time or if you want to spend a little more time on movement number 1. Here we are going to be doing a knee drop to step through. This is a jiu-jitsu inspired movement and it really makes me feel like a top secret ninja, but it is beneficial in improving our mobility, strengthening our muscles, and increasing our flexibility. This drill uses our body weight to stretch and strengthen our ankles and hips to improve our flexibility and our general athleticism. Jiu-jitsu is a martial arts system that is used as a defensive or offensive skill to subdue our opponents. So yes, it makes me feel like a baddie, but it's also really beneficial at just warming up the body, increasing the core activation and strength, and making sure that we are stable, smooth, and well balanced for whatever we plan to attack today. Here is our 15 seconds of rest. Yet again, you can pause the video to spend more time on exercise number 2. Please remember to go at your own pace. Moving slower will improve our range of motion and joint health, our smoothness, but moving quickly might help to improve our athleticism. This next movement is quite a bit more tricky, so you can watch once through if you would like, or just try to follow along as best as you can. The actual pattern is not as important as each of the components in the movement itself. We are simply transitioning from a deep runner's lunge, standing position into a cossack squat, and then pushing off in a deep push-off position on all fours to transition to the other side. So very simply, starting in a low, deep runner's lunge, coming upright with a wide base of support, drop into that cossack squat as a transitional movement before we get on all fours and push off to switch sides. Each of these movements itself is very beneficial for strength and range of motion, targeting and activating all the lower kinetic chain, our core, and our shoulders. Here's our wonderful 15 seconds to prepare for what's ahead and to pause the video if you want to spend more time on that last one. It's really fun movement, and I think I could spend an hour just playing with that one movement pattern alone. Drop into a downward dog position, but we're going to be playful by adding the crossed legs at the ankle, and this is going to help to stretch the lateral aspect of our legs, our IT band, and the outward part of our hips, our glutes. There is some debate as to whether stretching the IT band is beneficial because it's considered to be fascia, but I feel like when I am stretching my IT band, whether I'm foam rolling or doing a move like this, I have so much less pain. My mobility in a squat and a lunge, my running is all so much better. In this move, by crossing the ankles and stretching the IT band, I'm getting that benefit of opening up my hips, the lateral leg, and as you can see, really working on our scapular stability. My entire body is engaged in this movement. Make sure you're taking all the time you need, nice deep breaths between your exercises. This should feel really good for you, and really it's so important to adjust each movement to best suit your particular and individual needs. Dropping down to the mat on our belly, this of all of these exercises feels the best to me. We're going to be doing a scorpion stretch, but adding the opposite leg to swoop under the primary moving leg and assist it over. This way you're activating both legs and not just one, as you use the muscles in your lower body to help you rotate through the spine, which is so beneficial for our spinal health. Taking as much time as you need to. Even in this movement, you can see that my upper body is stabilizing myself. This is such a good movement. If it does cause you pain, then make adjustments as necessary. Some people can't lay on their stomach without any pain, and if that's you, just spend a little more time on one of the other exercises. This to me is like heaven. The next exercise that's coming up is going to be another ninja move. So if you want to pretend to be a top secret agent like I always want to, this one's going to be really fun. But again, if you need more than 15 seconds, pause the video and take some more time here. From the prone position on our belly, we're going to abduct our hip way out, which is really good for opening up the hip, activating the glutes. Then we're going to prop into a very wide side lunge, almost a cossack squat again. But as you see here, it's a really good way to open up the hips, engage the core. My entire body is working. Really, you should feel very strong and balanced. If you don't feel balanced, slow down the movement. Get deeper into the side lunge if you would like to. Muscles are totally engaged. My ankles are opening up, my hips, my shoulders are stabilizing the upper part of my body. Such a good way to feel good and strong for whatever you're preparing your body for today. Most of us spend far too much time sitting at a desk or looking on our phone. This is the time for you to love on your body and negate all of the damage that comes from spending too much time sitting and stressed out. So this is your time to love on your body. The next movement is going to be child's pose to bow pose. And if you need more time, again, pause the video, go at your own pace. Coming from a bow pose there, then dropping into a child's pose. Most of these movements are engaging not just the hips, even though we're focusing on our hips. The spine is getting engaged, the shoulders and arms are working to help stabilize the body, and each of these positions allows you to work external rotation, internal rotation, flexion and extension of the hips. Very strong body postures. You can spend a lot of time in each position, slow it down, speed it up. You can grab your legs if you wish. That's just an option. You don't have to take it. Any posture you want to hold for a little bit longer, feel free to do so. And listen to your body, listen to your breathing. I'm going to be grabbing a little bit of a stool. It's not completely necessary. You can do the upcoming pigeon on the floor, but if you have something, it's a little more easy to prop your body up in a pigeon because so many people do not have the hip mobility to get into a proper pigeon position. Slowly working my way into it. When I feel ready, dropping that leg down. And this is a modified pigeon fold. To make it a dynamic movement, I am folding forward into the hip. And then when I come back, sinking down, dropping that pelvis towards the ground. Anchoring my body through my legs, even stabilizing my upper body through my arms. The leg that is straight is really working the flexion extension pattern, and we're working on that rotation through the hip that we're folding into. Total body engaged. Pick your pace. I'm just going to be switching sides to my other leg. If you want to pause and take your 15 seconds, however long you need. If you feel ready, drop right into that pigeon fold. Activating my core by bending forward and then posturing myself straight up. And then as I stand, I'm sinking down into the hips to open up just a little bit more with each movement. Slow and steady. Feel strong, nice and strong core. Brace that abdomen, sink into the hips. It's your time to feel powerful and strong, but love on your body exactly what it needs. If you're going from the floor instead of a propped position, everything's the same. Just don't force anything your body's not ready for. It'll cause injury and impairment in other areas, very often our knees. We are almost done. You should be feeling very strong. Take 15 seconds if you want, more or less, that's totally up to you. We're going to be moving into a deep ATG squat. This has been recently popularized by the knees over toes gentlemen. You can have the stool or not, either way it's the same, and you can have your knees go over your foot. This stool that I'm using is not very stable, so I'm really working my ankle and my hips just because this little stool is so unstable. Whatever you use, even if you're on the ground, all the principles remain the same. Drop into those hips. You can even add hand weights if you would like to. You can pick a number of repetitions or an amount of time. Again, here we're doing 55 seconds. Nice deep into the squat, pushing forward into the front leg, stabilizing through both legs. Nice deep breaths. This is another one of those movements that more than 55 seconds is so worth it. Switching right into the other side. Sinking through the hips. Mobilizing our ankles, our knees, our hips. Strong posterior chain. Strong legs. Nice deep breaths. You should be feeling really strong and powerful right now. Your day is automatically going to be better because you've been spending time taking care of your body, improving yourself, which makes you stronger for everything you have to do today. Whether you are a mom, a dad, or you work really long, crazy hours, wherever you're at in life, we all need to be loving on our body. You're never too well or too ill to be taking care of yourself. Here's our 15 seconds of rest. I am grabbing a weight. Here I'm using 20 pounds, but it's not necessary. We all know the Bulgarian split squat is pretty difficult, even without a weight. This is one of the best glute activators that there is. Here we go. Propped up on that back leg, the wider your feet are apart, the more you're going to be working the glutes and the hips. The closer your legs are together, the more you're going to be activating the quads. Here, I'm trying to focus on my depth. The weight is helping me get deep, but it does demand more from our musculoskeletal system. It's absolutely unnecessary, just an option. Keep going, couple more seconds. Hold at the low position if you wish. Listen to your body, making sure that you are mechanically not causing any injury. When you feel pain, it's awareness from your body to make adjustments of what needs some more work and love. Here we go, switching sides. I'm not even bothering with the weight this time. Again, that's totally up to you. Having the stool really helps to offset the legs and deepen into the squat. But if you don't have anything to use, you can still just do a very deep and wide lunge. The benefits are going to be different, but they're still very beneficial for your strength, coordination, ligament health, and joint integrity. I highly encourage this to be a movement that you're incorporating in your training, and it's very good for balance if you are older especially. We can't wait till we can't do something to start working on it. So add this to your routine if you haven't already. You guys are doing great. Stick with it. Here's your 15 seconds of rest. Get some water. We're going to be doing either a pancake or a good morning. This is a new movement to me, and I'm going to be alternating between the two when I'm demonstrating this movement. Pick the one that you enjoy the most. Here my legs are fully extended at the knee. I am flexed at the hip, but I'm working on opening up the back of my body, keeping my legs straight in this form of the movement. The weight behind my back is not required. And you can see I am rounding through my back. Try to keep your back much more neutral if possible. Slowing down helps you listen to your body and what it's trying to tell you about what is benefiting in terms of strength, what is benefiting in terms of range of motion. Now that I have bent my knees, this is another way you can do this. And now it's a little bit more of a good morning, but I'm just sinking in at my hips, opening up the posterior chain of my body. Either way you choose to do this movement, it's up to you. Sinking in, I think slow and controlled is better. Nice and upright, some deep breaths, starting to cool down a little bit. Spending more time on that movement if you wish. Just practicing some gratitude, taking some nice deep breaths. I'm in my W sitting position. Thank you so much for joining me today. I do hope and pray you have a beautiful and blessed day. Take your time, spend more time here if you wish. As much time as you can. Thanks for joining me. Much love and goodbye.